If you are an employer sponsor watching this video, fantastic, this video is for you. If you're an employee applicant, wonderful, you'll be able to see it and tell your employer how this is done. Okay, so sponsoring foreign workers is not that difficult, I must tell you. You need to first look whether you want to sponsor them for a permanent visa or for a temporary visa. If you go for a permanent visa, immediately, the employee must have a skills assessment, must have at least 3 years post-qualification work experience. You lodge a nomination, and the employee not lodges a visa. It's very important that you prove that the role is genuine, which is, in the context of your business, you genuinely need that employee. The bigger your business operations, the easier it may be to prove if the context is right. So when I say context, I mean a software developer may not be sponsored by a piano shop, perhaps. You need an IT company or a bank or an insurance company or some organization that writes the code to software, to sponsor a software developer, right? Not a piano shop. Just as an example of the right context of employment, okay? And you also cannot sponsor, say, a carpenter or a welder in a childcare center, because in a childcare center, you need to sponsor a teacher or an educator. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So for permanent residents, immediate permanent residents, the worker would need to have a relevant qualification and at least 3 years of post-qualification work experience. Now, if you want to do a temporary visa for them, the process is slightly different. You first need to become a standard business sponsor. That is, you need to get permission from the government to sponsor foreign workers. For that, they look at your taxation documents, your bank statements, invoices, other things that show that you actually conduct business, and they have to make a positive finding that your business is lawfully operating. Next step, after you've become a standard business sponsor, you need to do what is known as labor market testing. You advertise the vacancy for at least 28 days. You look at all the other people that have applied during this period, and whenever you refuse an Australian citizen or permanent resident this job, you have to explain why they were all unsuitable, and the foreigner that you're going to sponsor is more suitable than these people. You need to explain that. That's the labor market testing. And then nomination by the employer and visa application by the employee. What's a very big thing that I keep repeating for employers in this process? Have you breached any law of Australia, state, territory, or federal? Do you have any issues with fair work, health and safety organizations, etc., or any other breaches or penalties? Competition law, criminal law, other. Why does that matter? If you have had any other breaches and have not declared them, and the case officer finds out, you're in trouble. First of all, because you didn't declare. Secondly, it's not that easy to push through sponsorship for companies that have had breaches. It's not impossible. It is possible, but whenever you have a breach, that's a red flag, because the way the government thinks is you have breaches and you want to sponsor foreign workers. Sponsoring foreign workers is largely for companies that try not to have any breaches, because then foreigners can suffer and will have to rely on other means of support, the government payouts or whatever they need to rely on. They will lodge complaints with Fair Work, will make life harder for them, will also create pressure on the system. right? So it's easier for employers that are known by breaches of health and safety laws and any other rules or regulations. It's easier not to allow them to sponsor, not to get the foreigners into trouble with these employers. So be mindful of that. And if you've had a breach, let us know. We might be able to give migration advice on whether we can still make it happen, you becoming a sponsor regardless of that breach, or the breaches of such serious nature that it's not worth trying to overcome it in the most near future. Because you can overcome any breach with the span of time, but sometimes potentially not immediately, because when they look at the breach, they look how much time has passed since the breach. So that's what you, as an employer sponsor, need to know. And if you're an applicant watching this video, don't forget to show this video, or to tell about this video in a couple of words to your employer sponsor, and we may be able to give advice to them and to help them sponsor you as their worker and eventually get permanent residency in Australia. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and there's a link below this video. You can book an appointment with me personally. Hopefully see you soon.